Good evening, guys. It's 9 minutes till midnight, and this is Lincoln Kenobi. I'm here to discuss what has been going on with our entertainment. And an example right now, what I've been hearing right now, I've been hearing this for a while right now. I've seen it, is our video games right now. Um, D-Day Cobra has talked about it for quite a bit, you know, and with Gamer Rant that came out and everything, and kind of like put negativity on us gamers and on the people, and also on the people like us that are just trying to talk about it, what we don't want. It's been getting out, and they've been getting their asses kicked. Well, they've been getting their asses handed right now, and it's not, and they're not the only ones. You got GameSpot, and also IGN. So, and D-Day, he put out an article, and I think this was from yesterday night. Yeah, he put this out yesterday night about Resident Evil 5 because there was supposed to be a Resident Evil 5 remake, but apparently it's not going to be remade. It's going to be rewritten. So let's let's go and dive into this so then we can read about it. So excuse my camera angle while I get this ready. So then that way I can really have you guys read me and see me. All right. So title of this is Resident Evil game that can't be remade. So yeah, I can't. I'm sorry about the title that I couldn't get it, but let me just display it real quick so then you guys can see it. There it is. The Resident Evil game that can't be remade. So, but let's just have a little read and then we'll discuss what I think about it. So, here we go. And it says over here, it's time to rewrite, not remake. So, here it is. With Resident Evil 4's release last year, Capcom's project to remake the glory years of its survival horror series is complete. But as the game's post-credits scene suggests, the remakes aren't over. And so the big question is, where next? The obvious answer is a remake of Resident Evil 5. But on the game's 15th anniversary, it's clear that moving forward chronologically will take Capcom's remakes into the series' weakest era. And this is from IGN, by the way. An era of gameplay and narrative decisions best left in the past. Resident Evil 5 simply can't be remade, at least not to the standards of Capcom's best work, and so the answer is not to remake, but to rewrite. So, IGN is suggesting that it should be rewritten. Now, we're going to get to that reason right now. We're going to get to that. But that's Capcom's decision. Capcom can decide if they want to rewrite it or not. You know, because in parts 2 and part 3, they did do a couple of changes. They did some same changes in it. But it was still the same concept and everything. But it was a bit of changes. But, so, let's read this. Let's read some more of this right here. Resident Evil is a survival horror series that not that you know that playing Resident Evil 5. Sure, it features a constant flow of horrific imagery, but Resident Evil 5 is an action game through and through. That's evident in its cover shooter mechanics, vehicle chases with on-rails turrets sequences, and the constant rattle of assault rifles. Even its visual design evokes in the sandy shades of modern military games that experienced mass popularity in the late 2000s. It all speaks to a series that had lost its way, rather than reflect on the tenets that were the foundation of existence. Resident Evil 5 looked to the contemporary gaming sadists in an attempt to find a new lease of life. The results is an unholy hybrid of Resident Evil 5, Gears of War, and Call of Duty. It is as ugly and unwieldy as it sounds. Man, look, I played Resident Evil 5, and I played this with my brother, and it was enjoyable. It was good. It was good, and it was tough. Especially we had to heal each other at the same time, and the bonding mechanics. You know, I never played the new DLC. I never played the other DLC that they had that you could play with Jill and everything. But this was good. It was a good game. So let's see. This design appears to be not just a misguided attempt to flow Western successes, but also a misreading of the predecessor, with the Resident Evil 4 director Shinji Mikami definitely reinvented the series through the use of a new over-the-shoulder camera angle. Perspective allowed for a more kinetic, action-heavy game. Despite this, Mikami never lost sight of the terror at the core of Resident Evil through use of enemies that were strategically placed to provide undulating waves of tension and fear, and the inclusion of Ashley as your vulnerable charged combat encounters were focused on surviving overwhelming horrors rather than dominating foes. Now, Resident Evil 5, meanwhile, presents its enemies as waves to be gunned down with incredibly powerful weaponry. Their purpose is cannon fodder, a wall to meet to slow your progress through levels. And also there's but I'm trying to find, see, this has to be the article. Because this is what really pissed off a lot of people, and I'm trying to find it. This should be the one. Because a lot of people were upset because of the racial comment. Ah, here it is. This must be it right here. Okay, wait. Remakes can, of course. So you can argue that Resident Evil 5 is actually the Resident Evil most need a remake. Whole environmental structure, the scenario design that reigns in the. But all this doesn't account for Resident Evil 5's most notorious problem racism. There it is right there. And it's going to get to that. We're going to get to that right now. See, it took me a while to find it. I know it was in here somewhere. So, here it is right here. Set in the fictional West African country, Resident Evil 5's primary antagonists are black people. Most of the population that live there in Africa are black people. And plus, it's a fantasy, for Christ's sake. It's not real life. It's not modern age. See, people like IGN, they complain so much about this, man. It's just so stupid. Yes, technically it's the Ouroboros virus that protagonist Chris Redfield is fighting, but the parasite's host is depicted as a nation of mobs and primitives who are violent even before their infection. Intentionally or not, Resident Evil 5 positions Africa as the dark continent, an uncivilized world harboring a diseased population that needs gunning down via Western intervention in the name of global security. Oh, brother, man. This is so stupid. This intensive treatment of people of color was hotly debated even as early as Resident Evil 5's debut trailer, with writers such as Nigari Koa and Stephen Portillo pointing out the game's uncomfortable post-colonial imagery. The arguments and think pieces continue well into the game's release window, with IGN's own former editor-in-chief, Hilary Goldstein, having also wrestled with the subject, but that was 2009, a time when race was apparently a debate rather than a relativity in 2020s in post-Black Lives Matter world. Okay. In that year, 2009, There was no racism. There was no fucking Black Lives Matter. There was none of that fucking issue, man. Come on, you guys. What are you making this a fucking problem, man? You gamer journalisms need to stop doing this, man. Come on. This is entertainment. This is not about modern day age. This is not racism, man. They gotta make a difference. So what? We gotta you want to make every game about white people, but then also you're gonna complain about, oh man, how come there's no black people in the game? How come there's no black heroes in the game? I mean, look at Black Panther, for example. They're making a Black Panther game with no white people, with colored people. What do you call that? What would you call that? What would you call a company that only hires colored people? Racism. Come on, man. Give me a fucking break. Give me a fucking break, man. Jesus. There was only one acceptable response to a white man shooting waves of Africans for an entire video game. No. Remakes may be able to redefine their source material, but there's only so many changes you can make until it's not a remake at all, but an entirely new game. And if you take Africa out of Resident Evil 5, is it Resident Evil 5 anymore? Yeah, exactly. Resident Evil 5 was about Africa. Remember, Code Veronica was in an island. Resident Evil 2 and 3 was in the city. Resident Evil 1 was in a fucking house. Resident Evil 6 was around certain continents. Because I played Resident Evil 6. Resident Evil 7 was in the bayou. And Resident Evil 8 was, I think it was in like in Europe, in the Transylvania, European era area, in a village mostly, you know. So come on, Jesus, fuck. Even the vastly improved, more sensitive take on the continent, perhaps one with a black protagonist and more emphatic look at the outbreak, the experience would simply be too divorced from the original to hold the name Resident Evil 5. Exactly, bro. Exactly. Right. Capcom now has the opportunity to ignore the past and completely reinvent this chunk of the timeline. See, I heard they're trying to do a Code Veronica. So where does Capcom go now? Personally, I look backwards. Code Veronica is an ideal candidate, as in the original Resident Evil. But if the only way is chronologically forward, then a total rewrite of what comes next is logical path. Because what followed Resident Evil 4 was not one terrible game, but two. Resident Evil 6 doubled down, no triple down on the action pack. Set piece every shooter design to the extent that much of it could be mistaken for a third person Call of Duty spinoff. See, man, like this, Bo. See, like, I understand what Ripa is saying right now. I understand what young Ripa is saying right now, that there's been too many remakes, man. Too many remakes. And I get his point now. Now I understand his point. You know, there's just too many remakes. You know? To be honest, man, if people are if gamer news are having issues with this game, if I were Capcom, I would not do any more remakes of Resident Evil. I wouldn't. I wouldn't in my book. But let's go to other articles. such as here. Let's go to over here in Twitter, and I found some pieces here. All right, let's see what we got. Let's see. All right, let me go to easier for me. All right, here we go. I'm in my bookmarks. So right now, you got DJ Cobra here. He's just trying to see. There are other, and like I said, it's not IGN's not the only one, bro. You got people like Matt Walsh. He posted this, Matt Walsh. Video games are a sacred cow because our country is filled with adults who are obsessed with them. That's why we all pretend insanely that there's nothing wrong with our disturbing about a child spending all day killing people in the virtual world. Matt, it's entertainment, dude. But not only that, if you don't want your kid to play the game anymore and just do other activities, just be a parent. It depends. It depends on. It has to be the parent to take charge of that. The parent takes charge of that, bro. I mean, when I was little and everything, and I used to play games a lot. My father always told me, "Hey, take a break, go outside, do other activities," and that's what I did. It's all about the parenting, bro. Parents are in control of this, man. If the parent wants their kid to do something else besides playing video games, they have the power to do that. But when you're an adult like me, if I want to play video games, I'm going to play video games, bro. If I don't, I don't. I have the right to decide if I want to myself. But video games, man, that's entertainment, bro. Just like movies and TV shows. That's our entertainment. That's our way of escapism, Mel. What Matt Walsh needs to worry about is all this woke nonsense that's been coming out. And yes, he did discuss that woke is finally in games. Dude, we've known this for so long. We've seen it happen. It started little by little in 2016. It did start little by little, but in 2020, that's when everything kicked in, bro. That's when everything was starting to kick in. You had Starfield. You got Indiana Jones right now. Spider-Man 2. What else was there? You know, there's games that have been messed up. Like, look what happened in the Arkham. What happened to Suicide Squad? They ruined the Arkham Universe series. Rocksteady, but not the people that created Batman Arkham Universes. But it was Rocksteady. The people that did the Batman Arkham Universe series left and wanted to do their own company. But the Rocksteady company, they ruined the Arkham Universe. They made Kevin Conroy look like shit. And it was totally messed up, man. And I'm glad I didn't get that game. I'm glad I didn't get it. You know? See, Laura Chin wrote this to Matt Walsh since Matt Walsh got criticism for this anti-game stance and how he handled his segment on Sweet Baby Inc. That's another company. Sweet Baby Inc. is another one that are being dicks. One of his producers has been having a Gamergate level meltdown. They're crying right now because of people like us have been saying this for the longest time. Wokeness is in games right now. They had it in movies, had it in TV shows, comic books. Now it's been coming out in games. People are sick and tired. We are tired of having these nonsenses in our entertainment. That needs to stop. That just needs to stop. Let's see here. Yeah, I got to get to these other. I'm going to get to these other articles that I see right here tomorrow. I'm going to get to these other articles tomorrow. You know, especially TikTok. But yeah, man, I mean, this is something that, yeah, like I said, this is something that's been happening a lot of times, man. I mean, too much. All right, let me get out of this. This is what's been happening too much in video games, man. And this got to stop, bro. Because if it's like they got nothing better to do but just put their woke ideology, diversity in these games. You know? Just stop. Just stop doing this, man. Because people are not going to be buying your games or watch your movies or TV shows, man. That's all it is. But these game journalists, they need to stop. We have the right to our opinion. If we don't like something, don't call us crybabies, don't call us bigots, don't call us any of that shit, man. If you don't like it, that's our opinion. You don't take away our opinion, Mo. That's our right. Gamergate, IGN, GameSpot, Sweet Baby Incorp. The hell with you guys, bro. See, like for example, IGN rated Contra Operation Galuga a fucking 6. Man, I played that game and I love it, dude. That's to me like an 8 or 9. I love Operation Galuga. I can't wait to play that game. Helldivers 2, I'm going to play that game. I've got to play more Helldivers 2. I've got to play more of it, bro. And I got to try to play Operation Galuga. But I mean, come on, man. This is our entertainment, man. See, there are certain games that I like to pick out there. Like right now, the games that I've got that are coming up, like is Outcast, and Ronin right now at the moment, I believe. Yeah, Ronin at the moment. I got Star Wars Battlefront, the collection, but since I heard one thing that it's not cross-platform, which kind of sucks for other people that want to play with everybody else. But not only that, I heard that the servers were messed up that night and people hardly could play. Only I think it was like 10,000 people that could play a day. And Disney they really suck at their jobs, bro. It's like they do this on purpose, bro. Like they do this on purpose every time. But it is what it is, bro. It is what it is with these industries, bro. With these businesses. Well, I gotta go, guys. I gotta get some sleep. Tomorrow I'll be discussing more about what's going on with TikTok and what the president just said and everything. So I'll catch you guys later, man. All right. Peace out. Bye.